Saudi authorities offer freedom deals to princes and businessmen, according to the AFT. Saudi authorities are negotiating settlements with princes and businessmen held over allegations of corruption, offering deals for the detainees to pay for their freedom, say people briefed on the discussions. In some cases, the government is seeking to appropriate as much as 70% of the suspects' wealth. Two of the people said in a bid to channel hundreds of billions of dollars into depleted state coffers. Some of the suspects, many of whom have been detained at the Ritz-Carlton in Riyadh since last week, are keen to secure their release by signing over cash and corporate assets, say people close to the negotiations. They are making settlements with most of those in the Ritz. Cough up the cash and you will go home. Over the weekend, I said we could witness a massive $1 trillion disgorge right here. I said the high-profile princely crew is jailed at the Riyadh Ritz-Carlton and the gates are now shut. The phone line is perpetually busy and you can't book a room until February the 1st. And I was predicting exactly what we're seeing. Russia, Turkey, Iran are meeting to discuss their Syria strategy. MK Badr in Asia Times in a historic development. President Putin will be hosting his Turkish and Iranian counterparts, Recep Erdogan and Hassan Rouhani, at a trilateral summit on November the 22nd in Sochi. Meanwhile, on Tuesday, the Russian Defense Ministry openly alleged that the US military is impeding Russian air attacks on ISIS targets on the Syrian-Iraqi border and is indirectly enabling the terrorists to regroup. Quentin Somerville has a very interesting documentary on YouTube about this. The Pentagon called it a Russian lie. At any rate, the very next day, 6 Russian Tupolev long-range bombers flew from bases in Russia via Iranian and Iraqi airspace to vanquish those ISIS targets in a massive airstrike. Turkey and Iran estimate that Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's seemingly irrational behavior has a pattern. They suspect a script was worked out by Israel and the Trump administration with the objective of creating quagmires for Ankara and Iran. Earlier this week, Erdogan openly ridiculed the Crown Prince from an Organization of Islamic Cooperation platform and questioned whether he was qualified to differentiate moderate Islam from the extremist form. The simmering discord between the erstwhile caliph and the custodian of the holy places who succeeded him on the debris of the Ottoman Empire surged into view. Iran can see that the Saudis are encouraging Israel to attack Lebanon. In fact, Rouhani openly spoke about it on Wednesday. And I spoke about it on the weekend. I said Bibi Netanyahu, MBZ, Jared Kushner and a Trump carte blanche have all leveraged this existential paranoia in the mind of a 32-year-old crown prince to effect not a state capture, but a kingdom capture. The then 30-year-old Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Deputy Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, expected to ascend to the throne as early as this week, arrived on the scene and immediately launched an unwinnable war in the Yemen. President Assad, with his Russian, Iranian and Lebanese allies, resisted the regime changes in Syria. IS, which was a Sunni and Saudi blade, has been eviscerated. Iraq, which was once firmly in the Saudi orbit, is now aligned with Iran completely. Qatar is lost. See the Intercept article, which refers to a plan headlined "Control the Yield Curve, Decide the Future," which was essentially a plan to construct a big short on Qatar. And I said the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, and he said, should have spoken to me because I could have told him how to do it. Because we did it several times many years ago, but the essence of it hasn't changed. Saudi Arabia and its allies, UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait, are caught in an ever-tightening Shia pincer. The paranoia in the palaces in Saudi Arabia is real and existential. And what is also clear is that Bibi Netanyahu, MBZ, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, Jared Kushner, also looking to bail out his hotels, and a Trump carte blanche have all leveraged this existential paranoia to effect not a state capture, but a kingdom capture. Guptas were a precursor for this particular capture, I said. And then I said, the existential paranoia in the head of the 32-year-old wannabe king is evidenced in this comment about Iran in May this year. How can I communicate with them while they prepare for the arrival of al-Mahdi al-Montazar? So I think we're in a dangerous, fluid situation in the Middle East, and that oil price is going to go higher. At the moment it's coming off because a lot of people got long at the top, but it's headed higher again. Pakistan unveils a 100-year-old sleeping Buddha. Interesting dynamic that they chose to unveil it.